IT Expo, Los Angeles, California, 2008.
Hi, welcome to Los Angeles, California, Los Angeles Convention Center, coming to you from IT Expo West. I'm Eric Lanask, and I'm joined now by Lawrence Byrd, Avaya's Director of UC Architecture. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So just a short while ago, I know you gave a keynote presentation at our Communications Developer Conference. I think you talked a little bit about unified communications and the UC in the 2.0 world, actually. How do those two come together, unified communications and the 2.0 world that we're all in now?
Okay. So first, obviously, two topics there. One is unified communications, and then what is this 2.0 world? On the unified communications side, we're very keen on the democratization of UC. How do we make it more prevalent? And who has to make it prevalent? So that's for the CFO. You know, we're making a complete UC suite with video at 15 cents a user per day if you amortize it out. So that's good for the CFO. They can sort of see how to use that. It has to be good for each individual user, so you have to have the right mix of tools. Am I a very mobile person? Am I somebody wandering around a warehouse with needing wireless? Am I somebody who works at home, a teleworker, which we're seeing increasingly now with the price of gas and other things? Am I somebody who works in an office and needs Microsoft IBM integration? So the sort of flexibility to integrate regardless of device or interface is good for the user. You know, across all the different roles. Salespeople are different from back office workers, are different from contact center agents. You have to have a broad range. And then it has to be good for the customer. Our experience with technology, you know, the growth of IP telephony, we're a world leader in the contact center, is it fundamentally has to do two things. It has to save money and make money. And if it doesn't do those things, nobody adopts it. So, you know, the save money proposition for unified communications is around productivity and efficiency and business process efficiency. But interestingly, the make money around UC is about how does it help impact your customers, right? What happens in your ability to rapidly respond to your customers, to get the right people engaged, and to engage the whole enterprise. So just to sort of take an example, we're working with a partner, InDime, so when you press one of those funny boxes in a retail store, you know, what happens, right? Well, now it's a SIP device. So now, you know, you can make a routing decision. You can decide to connect it to somebody else in the store, but there's nobody available, so a contact center agent can suddenly be talking to the person. Somebody can walk by. We have a partnership with Motorola. You can scan the product, and it will automatically call somebody who can talk about the product, and they could be anywhere in the world. So sort of SIP and IP telephony is putting the world at the beck and call of this moment with the customer. So there are various moments. There are moments in the contact center, there are moments in stores and branches, there's moments of salespeople on the road, but there's also moments in the 2.0 world. So we were talking about and showing, you know, integration with Second Life, where you teleport the avatar of an agent into a Second Life virtual world. We were showing integration with Facebook, where you can sort of call and do phone integration with Facebook accounts and start to build customer widgets. So you have to be willing to meet the customer wherever they are, and that can be the physical world, it can be the contact center, or it can be increasingly the virtual world. So on the customer side, it's all those worlds, the 2.0 worlds, all working together. So the combination of saving money by increasing productivity, efficiency, and consolidation for IT, and making money by changing the way the enterprise deals with their customers, wherever their customer is coming from.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned a couple of times the contact center environment. How big is unified communications in the contact center right now?
Well, our view is that it's always been in the contact center. We're a world leader in contact centers. We're present in some 32,000 contact centers worldwide. You know, we've been doing advanced communications with application integration and screen pop and clever routing, you know, literally for decades. So there's a sense in which the UC side is waking up in some ways to the realities that have been going on in contact centers. But the UC side has different requirements. In the contact center, you don't have people, you know, needing integration with mobile phones, right? You don't generally need to integrate with Microsoft Outlook in the contact center, but you do in UC. So there's a whole set of new integration. So both sides have something to learn from each other. But to us, there's nothing surprising about the mix. I mean, it's advanced communications tightly integrated into business processes, whichever way you look at it.
Well, that communication in the business process, that's something you folks over at Avaya are very familiar with. You talked about mobility, video, some other aspects of unified communication. Is there sort of a standard definition of what unified communications is, or does that vary by vendor, or does that vary by customer?
It varies a lot, right? Our belief is that unified communications is about, empowering people and empowering and accelerating the business processes that those people operate in, right? So you have to do both those things. Just having people happier because they've got a cool interface, is not sufficient. What impact, business impact, is all of that having? But what technologies that covers, where you draw the lines, that tends to sort of vary a lot by vendor. Some people count everything as unified. Some people draw the line a little more finely, and that's fine. I mean, so what? I mean, what's important is for the specific customer, what's my business? Which of my processes need accelerating? Where do people get stuck? Who's not connected? So we take a very sort of analyze the business perspective to then saying, well, this is how UC should play. It's not about that UC is this sort of fixed thing. Take one pill and you'll be all right in the morning. It's a flexible way of approaching the business where you need a flexible range of communication options.
How quickly is unified communications technology being adopted currently? Is it actually being adopted, or is it still in a sort of stage of being hyped?
I think all of the pieces, or various of the pieces, are being adopted at different rates. So we've been in the unified messaging market where your voicemail and your email all work together for, probably a decade now, and that's sort of much better established. Presence in instant messaging is all over the place, right? I couldn't imagine life without mine happens to be Microsoft instant messaging window, and I couldn't imagine looking up numbers and dialing them on a phone anymore. I just click them straight out of Microsoft Office Communicator or any other application or my browser on the desktop. So, I'm used to all of those things, but different customers are all saying, well, why should I bother? What's in it for me? And that comes back to this earlier question, which is, where in your business are you going to save money and make money? Because without those two things, none of the technology makes any difference.
That's right, and it's all about saving and making money, as you said.
That's what it's about.
We've been talking about unified communications with Lawrence Byrd, the director of Avaya's Unified Communications Architecture Group. If you missed his keynote address a short while ago, please log on to itexpo.com to check out the recorded version.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lawrence.